Hello, I'm John Digesare, Senior Registrar at the San Diego Museum of Art. Today I wanted to talk about this painting of the Penitent St. Peter by Greco. But before I get into the painting, I just wanted to mention something about the early history of the museum and how they had the foresight to do something. In 1925, when our original building was being erected, they included sculptures of several Spanish artists and several sculptural reliefs, including one of Greco. So when the museum opened in February of 1926, we did not have an Greco in the collection, but the intended focus initially of the museum was on Spanish art. And including this one image, when you enter the museum, look up to the right when you come to see us, you'll see this beautiful carved rondel of Greco. 15 years later, in 1940, we were able to acquire, this painting. The painting of the Penitent St. Peter dates from about 1590 to 1595. Little is known about this painting until the early 20th century, when it surfaces in a Spanish collection. It later passed into another Spanish collection and then was sold to someone in New York that the museum acquired it from in 1940. It's one of perhaps 6 versions from the hand of Greco of the same subject of the Penitent St. Peter. There's perhaps 12 copies or workshop pieces that people working in Greco's studio had a hand in creating. Over the years, this version that we've had here has been considered one of the best versions of the 6 that are known to be by Greco. If you're visiting Washington, D.C., you can see another version that's very similar to our version that's in the Phillips collection. So let's look at the painting for a second. We have St. Peter here depicted in this penitential mode here. He's looking up toward heaven. He has these teary eyes. The scene is supposed to represent an act of penance, because on the eve of Christ's crucifixion, he had denied Christ 3 times, as we know from the biblical references, before the cock crowed 3 times. So he's here in this beautiful triangular composition, which goes from the top of his head to his right side, then to his proper left side. His hands are clasped together in a tight grip, and you can see that the muscles on his right forearm are actually bristling from the pressure. And the other thing you'll see, he's set in perhaps entrance to a cave or a dark tree, and there seems to be this divine light that's coming from above, that's flooding his image in front of us as he looks heavenly with these teary eyes in this act of penance. On his left forearm, you'll see this loop, and he holds one of his traditional attributes, the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Over here on the left side of the painting, there are several figures. This one winged angel has just informed Mary Magdalene, who's just visited Christ's tomb, to be told by the angel that Christ has risen, and she's probably hurrying off to inform St. Peter that Christ has risen. And we know her attribute is she's carrying this jar or vessel of ointment that she had taken to the tomb. And you'll also notice that there are these clusters of sprigs of ivy in the top left and top right corners. Ivy is a traditional symbol of immortality. El Greco, whose Greek name, he was actually born in Crete, was Domenikos Theotokopoulos, went to Venice as a young artist to study. There he was definitely influenced by the artists working in Venice who used bold colors in a very free way. He later went to Rome and picked up some more influences of Italian art. Later, in the 1570s, he moved to Toledo, Spain, where he would work for the rest of his life. He did not travel much, except if it was in connection with work commissions. So from that point till the end of his life, he did work in Toledo, where he had a large workshop with assistants helping him to create sometimes sculptural altarpieces with many panel paintings. One other thing I particularly enjoy about this painting is the way El Greco has painted the saint's hair and beard. At some point he used a very small brush, and you can almost see these tiny individual brush strokes delineating the mustache, the beard, and the highlights in his hair. Right now, the painting is hanging in our special exhibition, the Golden Age of Spain, and it continues till September 2nd. This painting is featured in the exhibition. I hope you all get a chance to see it. Normally, it hangs on the second floor in the museum in the European galleries. Thank you for listening today.